everybody, it's Carlin here at May Blossom Design, and I have a glaze along again today. It is, I call it my blue lagoon glaze, and it's really simple and it's fun and it gives lots of movement, and it's only 3 colors, and yeah, it's really fun. So this is what we're going to do today. This is the color we're going to do today. It's really fun, it's really simple, and it gives so much movement. We're going to do it on the same type of vessel, a flower frog vase, but you could do this on whatever you wanted. You just do have to keep in mind that it is a little bit of a runner, so I wouldn't put it all the way to the bottom. But yeah, so we're going to do this on a flower frog vase, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's get glazing. First, we're going to use Spectrum's Soft White. You could use Pearl White if you can't get your hands on some soft white, but Pearl White would work just fine. You're going to need Amico's Blue Midnight, and you're going to need Mako's Green Tea. And like always, these are the brushes that I use. They're budget brushes. They're very inexpensive. They're linked in the description below. So if you need some new brushes, they're linked down below. And yeah, let's get started. So what I've done beforehand is I always put a clear glaze on the inside of a vase. One, because you don't ever see the inside of a vase. And two, it's just a little bit more cost effective. I also put it on the insides of each of these little holes because when I'm doing the outside, I like to focus on the outside, not making sure that I have to go inside and get every hole, because that's just easier for me to do it that way. So anyway, the inside is just Mako's clear, and we're just going to focus on the outside. So the first color you need is Soft White, and we're going to do 2 light coats of Soft White. Now, if you've used Spectrum glazes before, you do know that specifically Pearl White is a runner. Soft White I don't find runs as bad, but it's still a runner. So we're just gonna... And I like to kind of do the bottom first to give myself a guide. I don't really have a set pattern. I just kind of go with the flow, because like I said before, it is a little bit of a runny combo, so you do have to keep in mind, don't put it all the way to the bottom because it will stick to your shelves. And just like in my other videos, I don't glob on my glaze. I don't want to say I'm like cheap with my glaze, but I don't glob it on. I'd rather put, say, 4 thin coats instead of 2 really thick coats. I like to really control how much glaze goes on. And because I do know that this is a runner, I don't want to go overboard with the runniest glaze, for sure. Okay, and then don't forget your rim. I do like to put an extra little bit on the rim because it is far away from the bottom, so you can definitely put a little extra on there. And because Spectrum glazes dry so quick, I'm going to go straight into my second coat. So there is our 2 coats of soft white. So I'm going to let this dry fully, and then we'll be back to put on the second color. Okay, so it's fully dry now. So the next thing that we're going to need is you're going to need the blue. You're going to need the blue midnight. So then all I did was we're going to do like again just another 2 thin coats, because blue midnight is quite a dark glaze. So I don't want it to be too dark, because I do want the soft white to come through a little bit, but I need the coverage to get that blue. So we're going to do 2 thin coats. We're just going to kind of randomly, just going to kind of, I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to go close. Oops. I'm not going to go close to the bottom, but I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. And I'm not going all the way to the top, because that's where the green tea is going to go. So again, just kind of random. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then again, this does dry fairly quick, so I'm kind of just going to do 2 coats when it's still wet. And again, not super thick coats, but enough to get all the coverage that you need. And again, I didn't go all the way to the bottom just because it is kind of a runner. Okay, so once you have on enough, you can always go back. If you know, if you really want lots of drips, then feel free to go all the way to the bottom, or put this extra thick, because it will move. Not a lot, but it will move. There we go. So once that is done, let this dry fully, and then we're going to come back and we'll put the green tea on. Okay, so we are ready for the last step, which is green tea. So now what we're going to do, same as the blue midnight, it's just going to go all over, other than we're just going to do a slight overlap over the blue midnight. We're not going to go all the way to the bottom. We're just going to do a little overlap, but we're going to cover the rest of the soft white. And we're going to do 2 coats of this, just like we did blue midnight. So like not super thick coats, but not thin. It's hard to explain, but just make sure that you do a little overlap, but don't cake on your glaze, because like I said before, this is a little bit of a runner, so you're definitely going to have movement. And if you put on too much glaze, you'll have too much movement. So like with any glaze, as soon as you feel your brush, so like there, don't let your brush drag like that. Just make sure it's always filled. And the little holes sometimes make it a little bit more difficult to put glaze on, but like I said, when I did my clear on the inside, I made sure to fill that, so that, as you can see, oh, this one doesn't, so there's a little drip in there, but when it fires, you'll see different colors come through those little pieces, because it does pool in here a little bit. So it just helps kind of give that little different little effects, even though it's kind of a pain to glaze around. Okay, and then don't forget your rim. And again, you can put just a touch more on your rim if you want, because it is close to the top. So then, just like the blue, I'm going to do the second coat when it's still a little bit wet, just so that I can get it kind of gives like a, I don't know what to call it. It kind of gives it like a little bit of a variance. So some places are thicker and thinner than others, but because you have a good solid base coat of the soft white, when you have the kind of thick and thin spots of your blue and your green, you get some really cool blending and some really cool running. So that's why I like to do it when it's still a little bit wet. And sometimes you just get a really cool effect from it. So yeah, not super thick, but definitely not too thin. And just a slight overlap on the blue midnight. And I think I've mentioned this before. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it on this video, but the base of this piece is Plainsman 340. Um, it's pretty much all Plainsman clay that I use. I don't really use anything else. Yeah. So then again, don't forget your rim. Okay, so we are all done now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this aside to dry, and it's going to have to dry fully. Then we're going to fire between 5.5 and 6, cone 5.5 and 6. And yeah, I will be back and I will show you the results. Okay, so it has been a couple days. I have fired my kiln, so let's see what is inside. And I didn't just do this face. So a little bonus, you will see everything that I have in this kiln. Yeah, so let's get to opening it. We're at 131 degrees, so not too hot. But yeah, let's get it open and let's see what I have inside. So I did quite a few flower frogs in this firing. And in case anybody's wondering, I have gotten a few questions about my kiln. It is a Scut 714, and it's really great. I just have a teeny tiny little studio because I am just a hobby potter. I do it very, very, very small scale, and it's great. It's a really great little hobby kiln. Okay, so let's get started. Obviously, let's get started with the piece that we did to glaze. And look at that. Oh, it's still very hot. Hold on. Let me get some gloves. Okay. So look at that. Look at all of these drips. Oh my Lanta. Like, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. This turned out, I think this one turned out better than the first one. Beautiful. So yeah, like I said, this glaze is really awesome. It gives you tons of movement. But like I also said, it is a runner. So you need to keep that in mind. If you were putting this on a mug, you wouldn't have very much room unless you did it on a great big tall mug or something with a great big belly that would catch the drips maybe. But I would definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, beautiful. And inside's just clear. But yeah, gorge. Super happy with that. So now I promised you what else was in here. So let's check it out. Look at that. So if you watched last week's video, or my last glaze along, I'm not sure if this will be the next week or not, but the last glaze along, it was this glaze. So shameless plug, if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. I'll link it in the description below, or I'll put it at the very end here. But yeah, look at that. The drips. I'm just so happy that I have learned how to get these drips. And I will put my firing schedule also in the description below. I fire to 2190, and I do a little bit of a hold, and then I do a drop for a slow cool. And I think that's where all my drips are coming from. I'm not confirmed because I have got drips on other schedules too, but yeah, this one just hits the mark. But look at that. Super happy. So yeah, go check this one out. Then this is another custom order I did, and this is peppered plum and snow soft white. And again, just gorgeous. Like, look at the movement. Peppered plum just doesn't do it for me when it's on its own, but like, look at that. Just beautiful. Okay, so this didn't quite come out like I expected it to. It's actually peppered plum with green tea on top, and it's pretty, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting a little bit more green. Yeah, Anyway, I think it's still beautiful, but it's just not as green. But still very pretty. Okay. So then I did a set of tumblers with your little, and this is in cenote. I have 2 of them. I love cenote. It's a beautiful glaze. It's really stable. It's really reliable, and it makes some really pretty things. I know some people don't necessarily like to use commercial glazes that are somehow better to make your own, but I don't know. I like commercial glazes. I think they're pretty, and you can make them your own. So I think they're great. Oh, wow. This one's beautiful. I might keep this glaze a secret and make it as a glaze along. I think I might. It's beautiful. And look at all this pooling. Yeah, I think if you want to know what this glaze is, let me know in the comments. And maybe this will be my next glaze along. Maybe I'll do this on a mug. I think this would be perfect for a mug. If you want to know what this glaze is, let me know in the comments. And I think it might be my next glaze along because this is gorge. Look at those blues. Okay, so that was our glaze along for this week. I thought it was pretty good. It turned out really great. And yeah, if you want to see that blue vase, if you want to see that as a glaze on, I think I'm going to put it on a mug. But if you want to see that and you want to know what that combo is, let me know in the comments and I will make that into my next glaze along. And yeah, I'll show you how to do it. Otherwise, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. Thank you for everyone who watches my channel and who engages with my content. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I'm loving being on YouTube. So yeah, I never would have thought that I would have been in my late 30s saying that I love being on YouTube, but here I am, and I'm loving it. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has subscribed or watched my videos. I very much appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, but I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.